Hey everybody, and welcome to In the Running, the podcast where we bring your local elections to life.
We're your hosts, Maid Apkiss and Olivia Self, two rising juniors at Mountain Brook High School.
We started this podcast to help inform local voters on who is running in their local elections and what those positions do on a citywide scale.
So, we're interviewing candidates and asking the real questions about their goals, values, and what they want to do for your communities across Alabama.
No spin, no speeches, just honest conversation with the people who want to lead your city.
This is In the Running. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to In the Running. We're your co-hosts, Maid Apkiss
and Olivia Self, and today we're here with Miss Becky Holt, who's running for Place 4 in the Mountain Brook City Council elections.
So to start, we'd like to know a little bit about who you are outside of we want to know about your hobbies, your backstory. What do you do outside of working?
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me again. I am grateful for this opportunity. I'm crazy impressed with the two of you and all that you're doing. So thank you for allowing this opportunity for all of us. I am married to Tyler Holt. He is a longtime Mountain Brook resident. And we have two children, Jonathan and Maggie. Jonathan is a 9th grader at the junior high, and Maggie is a 7th grader. So we are sad to close our Cherokee Bend doors, but we're excited about both of the kids being in the same school again, and looking forward to the junior high years with both of them. We go to church at Dawson, and my background is in speech language pathology. That was my master's degree at the University of Alabama, and I have worked for 19 years, I believe, as a speech language pathologist. Currently still work a couple days a month at Children's of Alabama, and love that. I continue to do that because I truly do love working with kiddos and serving in that capacity. But I felt a calling and a passion for work in the service industry as far as the nonprofit world goes, and jumped into that. So now I work for All in Mountain Brook. Let's see, some things that I love to do. I love to read. I'm a big reader. Dr. Barlow had actually recommended Theo of Golden. It's been one of my favorite books over the past couple of years. Highly recommend that. Love, The Freedom of Self-Forgetfulness by Timothy Keller, another great book that I love. And I love to read the books that my kids read in school. So right now I am reading The Count of Monte Cristo.
My dad does that.
And it's great. It's great. I haven't read it since high school, so it's kind of fun to go back.
It's a doozy.
Right, and to read that. But I love to read. I love to spend time with friends and family. Teach a Sunday school class or a life group on Sunday mornings, and I love investing in the 6th grade girls that I have the opportunity to spend every week with. So I'm a big people person. I thrive on relationships and energy from people.
That's great. Okay, So we want to know, how did you get involved in public service?
Okay, yes, great question. So I was modeled service to others my entire life by my parents, and I cannot remember a time when my parents were not serving someone in some capacity. And so it really was just introduced to me early on and ingrained in me throughout my whole life. And when I made the decision alongside my husband, or my soon-to-be husband, that we were going to live in Mountain Brook, I knew that if I was not going to live in the city that I grew up in, that I was going to need to become invested in the city that I was going to become a part of. And so as soon as we were married and moved to Mountain Brook, I jumped right in to service to the community. And I joined some junior boards. I joined the Junior League of Birmingham, some other different organizations, and I love the opportunity to meet new people and to make different connections. And so my heart for service just grew more and more through each opportunity, knowing that I wanted to be able to give back to the city that I love being a part of.
How do you think your background, maybe in speech language pathology or on Mountain Brook, uniquely prepares you for the position of being a city council?
Perfect. So I would say I've served in a number of leadership roles throughout my 19 years of working as a speech language pathologist, and learned a lot of just working with people and organizing and maintaining and managing groups of people. And I really did enjoy that and still do enjoy that. But I would say specifically my experience with nonprofit organizations in town and the junior league being a huge one, as well as all in Mountain Brook, have uniquely prepared me for the role as a potential city council member. I served as the as the president of the junior league during 2019-2020. So if that rings a bell, that's when COVID came. And so COVID started, March of the year I was president. And you can spend years planning for something and then have a curveball thrown at you right there. And so I learned a lot through that experience. And, the Junior League is a multi-million-dollar organization that serves across the greater Birmingham area and has 2,000 members. And so it's a lot to do, especially in a volunteer capacity. But I love that. I learned so much about budgets, about personnel, about investments, about managing people. And that to me was a really, really cool opportunity because it opened so many different doors. I then transitioned into the role of Junior Women's Committee of 100 president, and I served in that capacity, which allowed me the opportunity to serve on O'Neill Library Board, which is one of the city boards. And I loved that. I loved learning more about the library, the inner workings, why they make the decisions they do about the different books that they allow in the library. And I really, really, really enjoyed that opportunity that was provided me based on my role as the Junior Women's Committee of 100 president. And then when I jumped into service at the PTO level, my first year as a parent at Cherokee Bend, I was approached about a new role, the All in Mountain Brook parent rep. And I thought, let me ask more questions. And I thought, that sounds really, really interesting. But what really intrigued me was that I would have the opportunity to sit around a board table every month with our city leaders. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, this is a great way for me to learn about the city and for me to meet people. And so I said yes. And I was a part of the parent rep group for a year, and then moved in very quickly into the role of on the board of directors, served as the board president, and then a few years ago became the executive director for All in Mountain Brook. And so I believe that the relationships that I have made through All in Mountain Brook, sitting around the table, problem solving with our mayor and our city council and our police chief and our fire chief and our chamber of commerce and our library and our superintendent and our director of student services and all of these different people who make up, along with parents, with community members, with worship community, with business owners, sitting around the table, learning about there was a need in a community, and here's a way that we can work together to solve it. And I just became extremely passionate about that and thrived on being able to make those connections throughout our community.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a great resume, extensive track record with all of the community stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, so we want to know what inspired you to run for this election in the city council.
Mm-hmm. I would say a few different things. We are in a very unique place in our city where we have some very strong leaders who are transitioning out, either due to retirement or to other opportunities. And that, for Mountain Brook specifically, that is, Mountain Brook is run so well, and people are very satisfied with Mountain Brook as a city. And so to have that many large transitions happen in this time frame, to me, I felt like it was a calling that I had at this time, based off of the relationships I've made and based off of the opportunities I've had to learn the inner workings of the city. I felt like this was the right time for me to step up and to do this. And so I was motivated because, well, number one, I would love more than anything for my children to come back to Mountain Brook when they are grown and have the option to make their choice as to what they would like to do. I would love for them to come back. And I would love for Mountain Brook to be able to maintain that charm and that character that it's always had. And so I think somebody who has the knowledge base and the experience of working with our leaders and with our residents, I think that that's important. And I just felt that this was the right time for me to be called to this.
Yeah. So Mountain Brook has led community trainings on emerging threats like scams or drug awareness. How do you continue to or expand those proactive programs if elected?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that. I love any opportunity to speak on All in Mountain Brook and a few of the programmings that we are able to offer. And so specifically in regards to the program that is geared to our city as a whole. And so All in Mountain Brook has recently launched a Silver Spartans program in partnership with the city. And that is specifically targeted to our older generation, to more of our senior residents of Mountain Brook. And that came about because of conversations that we had with our police chief and with our mayor and with our city council. And we learned that there are, and our fire department and our library and all the different groups, we learned that we're seeing an increase in scams across the city. And so that was something that we needed to target. We saw that there was an increase in minor accidents for potentially new drivers. And so we learned that technology was a stressor for different populations who this was very new for. And they wanted to know, how can we best protect our grandchildren when they come to our house? How can we understand and best protect them on these new technology devices? So we listened and we heard all of these different things that were presented to us, and we created the Silver Spartans program. And so as a city council member, what I would love to be able to do is to further build upon the program that All in Mountain Brook has started in conjunction with all of these partners, so that we can further reach our community and show all the different ways that as a whole our community can be protected and safe, and truly our lives enhanced when we work together.
For sure. Okay, you also serve on the city's Board of Zoning Adjustments. How has that shaped your views on thoughtful development and community input?
Oh, yes. So I joined the Board of Zoning, I guess a little over a year ago, and that has been a very interesting and neat experience. Along the fact that I've made some new friends and serve alongside some wonderful, wonderful people, I serve with Olivia's mom on the Board of Zoning, and I truly, my eyes were opened, honestly, to so many different things that the Board of Zoning is responsible for. The thoughtfulness and the intentionality, that the history of Mountain Brook, that just the creation of Mountain Brook, all that went into that, and what seemingly small variance decisions, you might think that they're not, because as a whole, they make such an impact on our community. And I've loved learning and digging in deeper into those conversations and those discussions about how just the zoning decisions and discussions truly impact the feel of our community. And I think if that wasn't highlighted as much as it is, and there wasn't a focus as much as there is on all of the details and all of the small and large decisions, that we would just truly see a change in the landprint of Mountain Brook. And so I've loved that experience. It's taken me out of my comfort zone. I've had to learn a number of different things, which I love. I love a new challenge. And so I definitely had to expand my knowledge base in a few different areas through that experience.
How do you plan on strengthening the relationship between City Council and its residents?
So I think my favorite thing about this campaign experience has been the opportunity to meet residents throughout this community. And I love, as I've told y'all, I thrive on interactions with people. I love relationships. I love communication and connecting with people. And I love collaborating on different things. And so I believe that transparency is key. And I believe that I welcome and believe that input from the community is very important whenever decisions are being made, especially decisions that affect the whole community. And so I would love to be even more open to communication with residents and open to hearing and listening to their ideas and putting those pieces together so that we can collaborate and work for the better of the residents. Because the reality is, we can learn from a specialized group, or we can learn from the professional in this different area. But if you're not partnering that with the needs and the voices of the community, then it's not going to make the impact that it needs to make. And so hearing that, finding that good balance between our experts and our community members, I think that makes the best decisions and makes the best impact in our community.
My favorite part about your campaign was the Santos 8 o'clock meet and greet. That was amazing. I saw that on your Instagram. I was like, this is such a good idea.
I have had 3 coffee meet and greets so far throughout the community. And it's fun because I'm willing and interested in being out there and putting myself out there to answer questions and to talk to people. Of course, people I don't know, people I do know who have come in. I've met, just yesterday, I met somebody for coffee to talk about some flooding concerns. And so I respect and love so much if somebody has the passion in their heart to express a concern, but also the willingness to come directly to the source and say, what are your thoughts on this, and how do you hope to improve that, or how do you hope to work alongside somebody to make an improvement in that area? So I've loved the coffees, and I'm a coffee drinker for sure. So any opportunity to have coffee is great. But then bring in people and let us have a conversation about all the ways that we love our city and how we want to continue to have this charming city that we have. I'm open for it.
Lastly, in one sentence, why should people vote for you?
Okay, so one sentence is hard. But here we go. I am a mother with a heart for service, and I believe that I have the perspective as well as the experience needed at this time in our city's transition to provide an opportunity for a city councilor to step in on day one and move forward with making change. And I would welcome and appreciate and be extremely honored if I had this opportunity to serve in this capacity.
You did great.
Yes. Okay. We love talking to you today. Thanks so much for coming on to our podcast.
Yes. And for everyone watching, don't forget to vote in the Mountain Brook City Council election on August 26th, and stay tuned to see who our next guest is.
Bye.